Hello everyone, Chris Beast here. In today's video we're going to be covering something I find rather interesting. Anniken is the name of the new map that we have recently gotten in the new season. It's a pretty cool map and a lot of people like it. While I'm not the biggest fan of it, there's something interesting to note here. This map isn't entirely new. You've been able to see snippets of this map as early as when Elimination dropped. However, when Elimination dropped, the map was not called Anniken. In fact, the map was called the Marteline Islands. You wouldn't be able to see this from the menus, however, you would actually have to load in and open up your map, and you would see on the top, Marteline Islands. From the Marteline Islands of Elim to the Anniken we enjoy now, there have been some changes. These changes seem to be based around the fact that the devs are trying to turn a TDM, multiplayer shooter map into, an encounter map. To do this, they made some changes, and I'm just going to point out the changes where we can see them, and let's get right into this. Okay, so starting off, we can look at the maps we can see in Elim and compare how they look in-game in an Elim to how they look in Anniken. So in Elim, there's the map Curve. Curve between Elim and Anniken has gained a couple buildings in the Anniken version, most likely to make this an actual POI rather than just, a normal looting spot. I think this change is a good move, as Anniken is a map that really does need its POIs where it has them. The next one is kind of a confusing one for me. A map that I like to call Coast, which takes place on the second from the top left island, has been completely geographically changed. The islands used to, in Elimination, feature two barnhouse-ish buildings and a tall water tower of some sorts, or electric tower. Now, the map doesn't have that. The map, instead, is completely flat, with a small divot in the middle of the ground, and with no buildings at all on it. I have no idea why this change was made. It is not like Anniken needed buildings removed, rather Anniken needs more buildings. I think I can understand them getting rid of the tall mountains that made for a very tight combat lane on the right side and left side of the map, but getting rid of the buildings just seems strange. Now, I could never understand the great idea on why they did this, but it's pretty cool to point out. Moving on to the next one, we have Lighthouse. Lighthouse has a pretty big change. They've added a big yellow building to it. This wouldn't work in Elim for reasons we all know. It would completely destroy combat lines and give whoever is on the side of the yellow house a large advantage for cover. And it would also make houses, a prominent part of Elim combat, which currently it is not. However, it makes a lot of sense in an actual encounter. It gives you more places to loot, and a bigger reason to actually head down to the lighthouse, which otherwise would just be an annoying POI with no loot. I like this change, and I think it was smart. Finally, we have the next change, which is on the map that I like to call Clearing, which features a yellow house, a small brown-like building, and a grayish building. The grayish building does not exist in Anniken. It's just gone. Again, don't really know why this change was made. It would actually, if anything, improve this POI if the building remained. However, there must be some reason that the devs have decided to remove it, as I'm sure they don't just randomly remove buildings for no reason. Finally, one last change. Going back to Lighthouse, the spawn that's in the ice doesn't even exist anymore. That entire ice area is now underwater. Another instance of I don't understand why. We've already seen ice-based extracts on Anniken. It wouldn't change much to move the exit into this ice-based area and leave it as is. I'm sure there is some reason the devs have. It could be, if I were to take a wild guess, due to combat lanes. I know that sounds strange, but putting an exit that far into the ice could mess, theoretically, with sight lines and combat lanes around the lighthouse, but I'm not sure, and I'm not even sure if it would. But I thought I would point out this change. So, in conclusion, between Marteline and Anniken, there are quite some differences. That's why when people just say, stuff like, oh, we really didn't get a new map this season, we just got a copy-paste of an existing map, I would argue to disagree. A lot of model Anniken's features are completely new and not from Anniken. It's obvious the devs spent a decent amount of time on this map. But if you want to disagree, you can do that. It's not like I can stop you. This has been Christopher Beast, and I hope to see you all next time.